people and these public people tell you that you're genetically inferior or you're doing something wrong. Are there people outside from all cultures? You damn right. I drive around this city every day, all day, and it ain't no specific area in which it's more of us out than other people because everybody's outside, but they're not outside kicking because they gotta go outside. There's people that work at Popeye's Chicken. There's people that work at the grocery store. There's people that work at the clothing store. There's people that work every place all over this city. They gotta get their ass up and go to work. Period. So when you believe this propaganda that you and people that look like you are just violating, they that's why the virus is so intense in our community. If you believe that, you the damn fool, man. Because for one, the people who are giving you this information don't like your ass, and they'll tell you anything to get it off you. Now, remember a month and a half, 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, oh, this came from China. Now the Chinese people saying the brothers giving it out. Fuck out of here. See, hey, bad situations let you know who the hell you're dealing with. See, everybody can't deal with pressure. One thing I know about our folks, we'll kick each other in the ass. We don't usually point the finger outside of our community. That's something we got to stop. We have to stop. You know what? It's always four fingers pointed at us, and we got the thumb pointing at us too. So we're going to have to stop that first and foremost. But when you talk about people from this Donald Trump administration, this dumbass Tyrone, the Surgeon General, I'm not calling none of it Tyrone. Tyrone is a damn fool, people. First of all, he's a condescending jackass on TV talking about you got to look out for Big Mama and Papa. First of all, man, don't nobody call it fucking grandmama's Big Mama. Don't nobody, we ain't running right, man. You ain't addressed white folks by saying you got to look out for Nana and Papa and whatever the hell they call their grandfathers. So don't come to us with this old slang, Ebonics bullshit, man. You a fucking professional. You're supposed to be on the TV representing your community because you're not part of our community. I'm not one of these brothers that's out here saving everybody. If you violate, I'm kicking your ass out the crew, and you out the crew forever. You're not going to be in the crew for, oh man, we got to be, he one of the brothers. And no, you cross that damn line and your ass is out. I'm sorry, y'all can let them back in. Y'all, it's, like we playfully say, y'all can invite their ass back to the cookout, but they ain't at the cookout with the kids. Cats, that's why we keep getting kicked in our asses, because we want to give these clowns passes. No, when you cross the line and you disrespect the community, we need to ostracize you. And me personally, I feel if enough people get ostracized and never get an opportunity to return to the community that have done detrimental things to the community, people will start watching what they say and they do, and we'll have more respect for and around each other. That's just my personal opinion. Now, but back to this dude. He condescended. He literally went out and said, it's because your poor eating habits, and you did this, and you did that, and you. Of course, we are genetically predisposed to certain things due to our eating habits. But guess what? White folks are too. So we ain't the only people eating all this macaroni. We ain't only people eating soul food anymore. We just took the worst possible situation in which people who were in control of our well-being at the time, did everything they could do to destroy us. And what did we do? We took those scraps and made them into a delicacy, and now everybody thinks it's the coolest shit in the town. So it goes back to that redlining. It goes back to that Jim Crow segregation. It goes back to chattel imprisonment called slavery. Because we are prisoners of war. We are not slaves. Your grandfather, my grandfather, your grandmother, your grandmother, your great aunts, your ancestors were not slaves. They were prisoners of war, forced to build this country against their own will, stripped of their name and their culture. We are not descendants of slaves. We're descendants of people who were here before anybody who documented history were here. And we are also descendants of people that come from the great continent of Africa. Africa is not a country. Stop saying you from Africa. You're not from Africa. You have to determine what country you're from. Create a legacy. Stop allowing people to give you one. Back to the point at hand. When you were raised on scraps and turned it into a delicacy, which now we've evolved to the point where we can leave those scraps behind us and make them a treat and not regular food, we have to start eating a balanced diet. He could have simply dealt with any other physician in his position would have said, brothers and sisters, since you want to speak ironically, brothers and sisters, in order to make sure you fight off this pandemic to the best of your ability, make sure you get proper exercise and have a balanced diet. Don't make it seem like folks came over here. Hey, as a matter of fact, here go a fun fact for y'all. After the emancipation procrastination in 1863, do you know why the myth of only thing black people eat is watermelon came about? It's because brothers and sisters back then, our ancestors, they refused to eat the slop that they were given for the last 300 years. So we focus on vegetables, and watermelon is one of the most nutritious vegetables, fruits in the history of the world. That's where that comes from. And then white folks got hold to it and they made it something negative, and that's why the whole black people only eat watermelon. That's where they come from, y'all. Because, hey, brothers, how about this? Since y'all don't really pay attention to this, how about this? Start eating watermelon more. Watermelon is a natural Viagra. The white part of the watermelon rind is a natural aphrodisiac. So if you really want to get good, start eating watermelon. That's scientific fact. You don't have to believe your man. Go look it up. Like my man Andrew, look it up. Look it up. Now back to the story, man. This is why we're susceptible to this disease, because we don't eat a balanced diet. We're feeding our kids McDonald's. We're not taking care of ourselves. We are surviving, not living. That's why, even though I hate this pandemic, it's killing my brothers and my sisters, destroying my community bit by bit, chunk by chunk. What I do want to do is this. I want to say maybe it's time for us to slow down, rearrange our eating habits, that's why I said this is a spiritual pandemic. This is a mental pandemic as well as a physical pandemic. The physical is this disease attacking my brothers and my sisters. The spiritual is every day they're beating on your head. More negative, more negative, more negative. More that's destroying your spirit, which also messes with your immune system. This is what I'm telling you, man. And it's a mental. It's destroying you mentally. So what we're going to do is going to continue to build up our mental, our spiritual, and our physical. And we're going to get past this, y'all. Because what we have done is, if nothing else, our history tells us that we can bounce back from anything. 100 years ago, during the Spanish flu, for those who don't know what the real Spanish flu is, H1N1. Y'all remember that, don't y'all? 4 years ago, H1N1 was kicking people in their ass. Remember that? The Spanish flu was H1N1. And it hit us the hardest then. And look at us now. Look at us now. So, let's not get defeated, man. Let's not be defeated by this nonsense. Told you, man. Thank you, brother. This is Brother Aaron Foster. Thank you, man. I told you. It's natural aphrodisiac. So, hey, why would you listen to your boy? Just telling you. I'm not trying to give you no bullshit, y'all. But this is what I'm talking about. Slow the fuck down. This is the reset button. The reset button has officially been hit on us. We're going to add vegetables to our diet. We're going to walk around our blocks. We're going to get to know our friends and neighbors and family members again. We're going to get back to the point where we used to do the head nod. When you see a brother, you ain't got to know him, just give him the head nod. You see a sister, you give her the nod. Or what have you. It ain't got to be in a flirtatious or sexual way. Just speak to our sisters and our brothers and our cousins, our uncles. You see a singing, walk across the street with that singer. Make sure they get across the street safely. This is our opportunity. This is our another fun fact. While the whole world is told, while the whole world is telling you that Africa is this and Africa is that, I want to give y'all one country in particular. This is my favorite country on the continent. It's Ghana. Do y'all know the country Ghana have fountains in front of their markets so you can wash and clean your hands before you go in? Yeah, yeah. See, we've been conditioned to believe that Africa is some place where they got dirt everywhere, and they living in the country, and there's tigers walking around, and no, one of the cleanest places on earth is Ghana. You got dirty fingernails, you might not even get served at a restaurant, and that's coming from a person who is presently in Ghana, Dr. Luther King. So, hey, I'm just letting you know, we don't have to succumb to the colonizing way of thinking. We will change the way the colonizers have conditioned us. Now, where we gonna do that is this. I'm finna defunct. You can accept it or reject it if you like. I mean, the only thing I can do is give it to you. You can defunct it if you want. It's two things. Black folks need to stay their ass in the house. Everybody else stay in the house. Well, how in the hell at the state capitol of the state of Michigan did they create a rally protesting locking the state down? Trump supporters out there. There wasn't that many brothers and sisters out there. So how do you organize? I think they said 10 to 15,000 people was out there at the state capitol. So if we the only people outside, how the hell they get outside? That's one. Two, the greatest myth ever told to our people. This is a myth. A lot of you guys will not get this. As my brother DJ Knox say, some of this stuff will go people's heads down. Africans sold other Africans to slave trades. No, they sold their brothers to slave trades. No, they didn't. Do you think the people in Mexico are the same as you? No, you don't. They're Mexicans, right? Do you think the people in Canada are the same as you? They're Canadians. Do you think the Jamaicans are the same as you? Thank you, RC, my brother RC. Thank you, brother. They're protesting in Minnesota too. And these are not our folks. RC and me, when you're not talking about our folks. So stop getting it out your head. Now, back to the point. Do you think the brothers and sisters in Jamaica are just like you? No, they're Jamaicans, Arubians, Virgin Island people, Bohemian people. We don't consider, they look like us, but they're not the same, right? But they all over here in North America, in the Western Hemisphere. So why ain't they the same? The same reason a person in Sierra Leone is not the same as a person from Ghana. It's not the same as a person in Niger, and the same as a person in Botswana. They all look alike, but they are not alike. So if I am a Nigerian and I sell a person from Ghana to a slave trader, for one, slavery meant something different to them. For two, that is not my brother, that's somebody from another land. Just like Romans had white slaves, but y'all don't mention that. Just like the English had white slaves throughout Europe, but nobody mentions that. Remember, if you paid attention in sixth grade social studies, the sun does not set on the British Empire. That meant they had white people, black people, Indians, Asians, all over the world enslaved under their rule, doing their bidding. But nobody talks. So if I ain't never heard about the Spanish enslaving Portuguese, and they on the same island, don't tell me about no brothers selling brothers. And if you don't believe me, most black people either spiritual or religious, or Christian or Baptist or something like that. What I want you to do is explain to me how Joseph went from slave that his brother threw in a pit over a damn coat. His brothers threw him in a pit over a coat and became king one day. Help me understand. How David become king? These people were peasants and they moved it, peasants and slaves, and became king. So obviously slave meant something different to the brothers and sisters on the continent. So stop allowing people to dictate to you what is and what is not. That's all I'm asking. The only way we're going to break this is to start from the grassroots. They are not the same. So we didn't sell each other. And if you did sell somebody that looked like you from your tribe, that's because your tribe conquered that tribe and you were selling them into second class citizenship. You need people to stop using the 20th century ideology on a 5th century process. It's not the same. Stop allowing people to tell you what's going on.